At 2:47 a.m. on August 28, 2025, deep inside Russian territory, something unprecedented was about to unfold. A single Ukrainian drone, costing less than a luxury car, was racing through the darkness toward a target worth over $50 million. What happened next would rewrite the rules of modern warfare and leave Russia's most secure naval facility in flames. But this wasn't just luck. This was 18 months of planning, cutting-edge technology, and a strategy so brilliant that military experts around the world are still trying to understand how Ukraine pulled it off. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how David just struck Goliath in the most spectacular way possible. The Syeverodvinsk naval facility isn't just any Russian port. This is where Russia builds and maintains its most advanced nuclear submarines. Vessels worth billions of dollars each. Located 400 miles inside Russian territory, surrounded by multiple layers of air defense, and protected by some of the most sophisticated radar systems on Earth. The facility houses the construction yards for Russia's Yazan-class nuclear attack submarines, each costing over $2 billion. On this particular night, 3 partially completed submarines sat in dry dock, along with a massive floating crane capable of lifting 350 tons. Critical infrastructure that Russia simply cannot replace. For Ukraine, striking Syeverodvinsk would be like hitting the Pentagon while blindfolded. The distance alone seemed impossible. Over 800 miles from Ukrainian territory. The defenses were layered like an onion. S-400 missile systems with 180-mile range, Pantsir S-1 closed defense systems, Nebo-M radar networks that could detect a Sparrow at 200 miles, and roving patrols of fighter jets. But Ukraine had been watching and planning, and what they discovered would change everything. Before we dive into how Ukraine cracked this impossible puzzle, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We're covering the most cutting-edge military technology and strategies from around the world, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next in this story. The algorithm loves engagement, so if you're enjoying this breakdown of modern warfare tactics, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps us bring you more content like this. Now, let's get back to the mission that shocked the world. What Russia didn't know was that for 6 months, Ukrainian intelligence had been infiltrating their communications. Not through cyber attacks, but through something far more clever. They had been tracking the shipping schedules of civilian cargo vessels traveling to Syeverodvinsk. Ukraine discovered that every Tuesday and Friday, a routine supply convoy traveled the exact same route, from Murmansk down the White Sea coast to the naval facility. The convoy included fuel trucks, supply vessels, and most importantly, civilian cargo ships that Russian radar operators had been trained to ignore. This was Ukraine's window. The plan was audacious. Disguise their most advanced long-range strike drone as a civilian supply vessel by following the exact same route, at the exact same speed, transmitting the exact same identification codes that Russia's own logistics used. But the real genius was in the timing. Ukraine had learned that every Tuesday at 2:30 a.m., there was a 17-minute window when the overnight shift change occurred at the radar stations. Operators would be switching positions, systems would be cycling through routine maintenance modes, and for those precious few minutes, the digital eyes watching Syeverodvinsk would blink. The drone they chose for this mission was no ordinary UAV. This was the LUTN-300, a next-generation stealth platform developed specifically for deep penetration strikes. Carbon fiber construction, radar-absorbing coating, and a guidance system so advanced it could navigate using nothing but pre-programmed terrain mapping. Completely immune to GPS jamming. At 11:45 p.m. on August 27th, from a concealed launch site in northern Ukraine, the LUTN-300 lifted off. Its mission: fly 847 miles through Russian airspace, avoid detection by dozens of radar stations, and strike the most heavily defended naval facility in the Arctic. The flight path was a masterpiece of route planning. Instead of flying direct, the drone would follow civilian air corridors, hug the terrain to avoid radar, and time its approach with surgical precision. For the first 200 miles, everything went according to plan. Flying at just 300 feet above ground level, the LUTN-300 slipped between radar coverage zones, its computer constantly adjusting altitude to stay in the electronic shadows. But at 1:23 a.m., disaster nearly struck. A routine Russian patrol aircraft picked up an anomalous signature near Vologda. For 8 terrifying minutes, the drone had to play dead, cutting all engines and gliding silently while a Su-35 fighter circled overhead with infrared sensors sweeping the darkness below. The fighter pilots saw nothing. The LUTN-300's heat dampening system had worked perfectly, masking its thermal signature among the cold forests below. After what felt like hours, the patrol aircraft banked west and disappeared. The mission was back on track. This is getting intense, right? The technology and tactics we're seeing in modern warfare are absolutely mind-blowing. If you're fascinated by how military technology actually works in real combat situations, you're going to love our upcoming videos. We've got breakdowns of hypersonic weapons, electronic warfare tactics, and some classified details that just got declassified about drone swarm coordination. Hit subscribe so you don't miss any of it. And seriously, the comments section on these videos is incredible. You guys always spot details I miss and share insights from your own military experience. Keep those comments coming. At 2:43 a.m., the LUTN-300 was just 14 miles from Syeverodvinsk when Russian radar operators finally detected something unusual. A blip moving slightly faster than the scheduled supply convoy, transmitting the right codes but following a trajectory that was off by just 2 degrees. Senior Lieutenant Alexei Petrov, manning the overnight watch, hesitated. The signature looked legitimate, but something felt wrong. He reached for his phone to call the convoy coordinator. That 4-second hesitation was all Ukraine needed. The LUTN-300 suddenly banked hard left, dropped to 50 feet above the water, and accelerated to maximum speed. Its target acquisition system locked onto the massive floating crane at Pier 7, the heart of Russia's submarine construction capability. Petrov's finger slammed the alarm button, but it was too late. Panzer S-1 system spun to life, their radars searching frantically, but the drone was already inside their minimum engagement range. At exactly 2:47 a.m., 847 miles from its launch point, the LUTN-300 struck. The 200-pound penetrating warhead punched through the crane's main support structure before detonating deep inside its mechanical core. The explosion was devastating, a brilliant white flash that lit up the entire harbor, followed by a rumbling that could be felt 10 miles away. But that was just the beginning. The crane, worth over $30 million and irreplaceable, collapsed into the dry dock where Russia's newest Yuzin-class submarine was under construction. 350 tons of steel crashed down onto the hull, crushing the forward torpedo compartment and bending the nuclear reactor housing. The damage was catastrophic. Russia's most advanced submarine construction program had been set back by at least 2 years. The floating crane, one of only 3 in the world capable of handling nuclear submarine assembly, was completely destroyed. But the strategic impact went far beyond the immediate damage. Within hours, Russia was forced to completely restructure its naval construction timeline. 2 other submarines under construction had to be moved to less capable facilities, slowing their completion by months. The psychological impact was even greater. If Ukraine could strike Syeverodvinsk, 400 miles inside Russian territory, defended by billions of dollars worth of air defense systems, then nowhere was truly safe. Russian military analysts later admitted this was their Pearl Harbor moment, the day they realized their homeland was no longer a sanctuary. The implications of this strike are still unfolding, and we're going to be covering every development. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on because this story is far from over. Next week, we're breaking down Russia's response, and trust me, what they're planning will blow your mind. Plus, we've got exclusive analysis of the new drone technologies both sides are developing for 2025. Your engagement keeps this channel growing, so smash that like button if this video taught you something new about modern warfare. The strike on Syeverodvinsk wasn't just a tactical victory. It was a paradigm shift. Ukraine had proven that in the age of advanced drones, no target is unreachable, no defense is impenetrable. The LUTN-300 mission demonstrated 3 revolutionary capabilities. First, that small nations can now project power across vast distances using relatively inexpensive technology. Second, that traditional air defense systems, designed to counter fighter jets and missiles, struggle against small, intelligent drones. And third, that the future of warfare belongs to whoever can best combine artificial intelligence, stealth technology, and strategic deception. Russia's response has been swift and harsh. They've already announced a $2 billion investment in new counter-drone technologies and are reportedly developing hunter-killer drones specifically designed to intercept Ukrainian long-range platforms. But Ukraine isn't standing still either. Intelligence sources suggest they're already testing next-generation systems that could make the LUTN-300 look primitive by comparison. The drone wars are escalating, and what we witnessed at Syeverodvinsk may just be the opening move in a completely new kind of conflict. What do you think? Are we witnessing the future of warfare, or will traditional defenses adapt fast enough to counter this threat? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, subscribe for more analysis of the technologies reshaping global conflict. Because in this new world, staying informed isn't just interesting, it's essential.